Hi, I'm over Summer Game Fest. Let's talk about something significantly more uplifting. An interview dropped yesterday, the very same interview that was delayed to the day after because of Summer Game Fest reveals happening at the time. And while watching through it, I happened to notice one detail in particular that's had me very interested. If you follow my channel regularly, you know that one of my favorite games is Sonic Adventure 1. So that should be a dead giveaway as to what I'm going to talk about here. And it's the fact that Takashi Iizuka casually mentioned wanting to continue the Sonic Adventure series. This is something I've dreamed about seeing for well over 20 years now. Because Sonic Adventure 2 came out over 20 years ago. Over 20 years ago. Holy crap, I feel old. Over 20 years ago, and they haven't continued it since. They sort of adopted aspects of adventure-based gameplay into subsequent titles, but they never technically continued the adventure series itself. And it always baffled me as to why they didn't do that, because I'd always believed it to be one of the more successful aspects to Sonic. Whether you boil it down to personal taste or sales speaking for themselves, people fondly remember Sonic Adventure when they think of it. Well, the majority do anyway. As split as the fanbase is between boost games, adventure games, and classic games, I'm not going to be so bold as to say that everyone likes Sonic Adventure, but I'd say a respectable majority feel the same way I do. In the interview with IGN, Iizuka mentioned that they'd heavily borrowed the Sonic Adventure series when constructing the framework for Sonic Frontiers. And if you have played Sonic Adventure 1 or 2, you can easily see where he's coming from. This may be stating it painfully obvious, but there is the open world aspect of Sonic Frontiers, or Open Zone as Sega stubbornly insists on calling it. They've taken the concept of hub world in Sonic Adventure 1, which were much smaller and yet immersive for me still, and expanded it to make up the majority of a Sonic game. There's also the fact that Sonic is fully playable in 3D instead of being confined to linear sections like has been the case for the Boost games, and those are expected to make an appearance still. In short, Sonic Frontiers is looking to be a complete fusion of concepts that Sonic has previously explored, and brand new concepts. Well, concepts that are at least new to Sonic anyway. Such as the combat system. He's had combat systems before, anyone remember Sonic Unleashed or Sonic Heroes? But Sonic Frontiers goes the extra mile with their own approach to such a mechanic. Personally, I'm still very split on how I feel about Sonic Frontiers. I'm worried still, but I think the promise is still there. I only question how this game was marketed this month. Like, it's left a lot more questions than answers, if you know what I mean. However, the hands-on impression of IGN did help to illuminate some things, so I appreciate them for that. But there's still a lot of things that we are very much left in the dark about. Anyway, back to Sonic Adventure. At the tail end of his interview, Iizuka mentioned wanting to continue the Sonic Adventure series, which is something I've been dying for Sega to do since forever. Now, this is not the first time that he's mentioned something like this. Far from it, actually. When the 30th anniversary kicked off, before Sonic Colors Ultimate release, Iizuka mentioned wanting to bring more of Sonic's past catalog to modern platforms rather than just Sonic Colors. He didn't mention which titles explicitly, I think, but the desire to do so was definitely there. And then in this recent interview, he happens to name drop the Sonic Adventure series. This could mean that a Sonic Adventure 3 may yet be in our future. However, this video is not confirming that it's happening, only implying that there's a possibility. And frankly, I'm glad for it. The formula was abandoned far too soon because of a terrible reception to Sonic 06. It's like the wrong lesson was taken away from that game's release. It didn't fail because it was an adventure game, it failed simply because it was rushed. That's literally all there was to it. It was rushed, and that's why it failed. It's not because the adventure formula was underperforming in any way. But regardless of wherever you stand on the whole debate surrounding Sonic 06, many of us can agree on one thing. A return to the Sonic Adventure series is definitely in order. Recently, Sonic re-explored the classic gameplay that made him so popular in the early 90s with the release of Sonic Mania. And since then, I've wondered if similar arrangements could be made for other aspects of his history. Obviously, the first one that came up on my personal list was the Adventure series. I made my start with the classic games, and I love them a lot, obviously. But I also hold the Adventure series equally as close to my heart.
Open your heart, it's gonna be alright, yeah.
And I'd always been hyped to see that Frontiers would be pulling with Sonic Adventure, even if not entirely in the way I was expecting, but the inspiration is definitely there. I'm not denying that. But the question is, would Sonic Team in its current state be ready to tackle a new Sonic Adventure game? Given how much Sega has been heavily leaning towards the boost gameplay for Sonic for like the majority of their recent releases, one can only wonder. They haven't always stuck to boost gameplay, however. They did stray from it occasionally for other games like Sonic Lost World and the Sonic Boom spin-off series, but for the most part, they stuck to boost gameplay, which centered around linear stages, some of which were less linear than others, but the concept was still the same. Sonic would run along a set path until he made it all the way to the finish. Having not really experimented with anything adventure related for a long time, can we confidently say that they are ready for a Sonic Adventure 3? I guess it all depends on how well Sonic Frontiers is perceived. It does borrow Sonic Adventure, even if not exactly in the way I was thinking of, but the ideas are definitely there. And if Frontiers succeeds, it could possibly motivate Sega to make the jump and return to the Sonic Adventure series with either a third game, or better yet, remakes of Adventure 1 and Adventure 2. I'd very much like to see them do that first actually, remake Adventure 1 and Adventure 2 with their current design philosophy, with hopefully some improvements, of course, and see where it goes from there. And if it all goes well, then heck yeah, go ahead and greenlight a Sonic Adventure 3. We're ready for it. Heck, we've been ready for a new Sonic Adventure game for decades. We just need Sega to be ready also. But for obvious reasons, some may not feel certain if the current Sonic team is indeed ready to tackle a new Sonic Adventure game based on how they've developed previous games. Something to keep in mind though, Sonic Team is a brand name at this point. It isn't always the same team fixed across every title for Sonic. Some titles may share similar members, others however will have entirely different crews. Like I said, it's just a brand name. So I think this is to say that each Sonic game, for the most part, has a different development team behind it. So for one, the Sonic team we have developing Frontiers now might not be the same Sonic team that developed either a new Sonic Adventure game or a different game. It's basically a game of Russian roulette as to who makes the game and who doesn't. So yeah, I'm sure thinking about all of this, it suddenly makes some things a lot more uncertain. There's no guarantee that the next game will be a Sonic Adventure game or whatever any other kind of game you can think of, because Iizuka hasn't thought about what's next for Sonic yet. I imagine that will change soon because Frontiers drops in 6 months from now, and that's without accounting for whatever post-launch support that they are planning for the game. And also to address a misconception going around, Iizuka is not saying that if you support Sonic Frontiers, you will get a Sonic Adventure game. All he said was that he would like to continue the series, and personally I hope he does. But that doesn't mean that the rest of Sega is on board the idea. They might be or they might not be, we don't know. They have their own way of thinking that is unique to them, so you often have to prepare for the unexpected. But one way or another, I'm glad Sonic Adventure is at least on Sega's mind. So, what do you all think? Would you like to see a third Sonic Adventure game as much as I would? Or would you like to see something completely different? Whatever your thoughts, drop them in the comments down below. I'd like to hear them. And with that, that's it for this video, and don't worry, there will be more videos like this coming out soon when we talk about the recent content that's been dropped, including that next bit of Sonic Prime footage. Boy, do I have a lot to say about that. I'll see you all next time. Take care, stay safe, don't forget, blue blurs for life. See y'all later.